please accept the request to record, no, para sa mga classmates ninyo na for whatever reason hindi makaka-attend ng class natin. But yeah, it's 4 o'clock, so let's start our class na. No? So this is our second na module, no? But before we proceed dun sa discussion natin for this topic, no? So i-discuss muna natin yung solution ng quiz natin uh, last Friday, no? So we had a quiz, no, last Friday online then and by pair, no? So na-checkan ko na siya. You can see your scores dun sa Ublik, no? There are some na late nag-submit, no? Uh, that's why I uh, binigyan ko sila ng deduction for the late submission to be fair para dun sa nag ng before 6 p.m. no? But yeah, you can see kung saan yung feedback no dun sa sinubmit ninyong quiz, and today we'll discuss yung solution for that quiz. Okay? So yung topic natin last meeting no is about internal forces, and yung quiz natin is about determining yung mga internal forces na yon. And here we have a rigid member, ABD, no? Acted upon by a concentrated moment M at B na equal sa 100 Newton meter, and merong unknown force P directed downwards to the right at an angle of 60 degrees dun sa point D. So, given sa atin ay yung internal bending moment daw sa J is 200 Newton meters. So, pinapa-calculate itong tatlo, no? So, the first thing we need to do is to draw the free body diagram nung mga members na kailangan natin i-analyze. For this case, we start dun sa member or sa section na meron tayong given. In this case, that would be dun sa section J kasi nandun yung given na 200 Newton meters. So if we draw the free body diagram, no, of that section containing J, so it will look something like this. So basically, kinat ko tong section na to and I considered yung nasa right side, no? So ayoko i-consider yung left side, complicated masyado. Yung right side lang para simple. Okay? And what will happen pag kinat ko siya dun sa section J, I will expose yung mga internal loads, normal force, shear force, and the internal bending moment. And this internal bending moment is 200 Newton meters. No? Again, these forces or these loads are assumed na directions, no? Pag lumabas sa equation natin na negative, ibig sabihin mali yung assume natin direction. Okay? So then we apply equilibrium equations lang on this system. Note that here, yung P natin can be decomposed into its horizontal and vertical component, no? So magma-matter yan later kasi pag nagsum ako ng moments about this point, which is point J dun sa center, no? Yung horizontal component ni P, walang gagawin na moment kasi nandun siya dadaan sa point kung saan ako nagsasum ng moment. So wala siyang lever. Okay? Now, if I sum moments, at this point, ang meron is the internal moment M, which is yung 200. So ito yung M. Okay, I assume it to be counterclockwise o positive. Then the moment of this vertical component ng P, that's P sine 60, yung magnitude, yung lever arm niya is this distance na 4 meters. Okay, so from there, masasolve kagad natin si P, which is 57.735, no? So I think all of you naman got this correctly, no? And if we sum forces along X and Y, no, the values for N will follow, and the value for N and V will follow. Okay, so along X, I'll get the value of N equal to this, and along Y, if I sum forces, I'll get the value for V equal to this. No? Some of you hindi na in-indicate yung direction, no? That's okay. Hindi ko naman specify na i-indicate yung direction. Pero please note na magma-matter yung direction ng mga forces na to, no? So, hindi palagi, pero there are instances na important sila. So, make sure na you know how to identify whether a normal force is in tension or in compression, or kung kailan positive or negative yung shear force, no? So dito si normal force is tensile kasi it's directed outward or palabas dun sa cross section ni J, no? Si V naman is positive kasi pag in-apply ko tong si V, yung section na kinonsider ko will rotate clockwise, no? So that's our convention. Okay? So, yun. So that's how we solve P, N, and V. Now, tinatanong din dito sa quiz natin yung internal loads at O. So what we will do, so si O is this section, no, 3 meters above A. So how do we solve for the internal loads at O? So yung ginawa ko sa solution ko is I analyzed first the FBD of the entire structure, no? Para ang plano ko is hatiin ko si O, consider ko yung babang portion, no? So, pwede rin nang i-solve ko lang is si FBC, tapos hatiin ko sa O, ang i-consider ko yung taas na portion. Okay? So, that's okay. So, pero ako, dito sa solution ko, sinolve ko yung AX and AY. Mas madali kasi tingnan, no? I-analyze yung lower na portion. So, that's why I opted for that. But, some of you, sinolve muna FBC, then kinonsider yung taas, and that's okay. Okay? Now, how do we solve for the FBC, AX, and AY? So, equilibrium equations lang rin. No? So, si FBC, note that si FBC is the force acting at B. No? Alam ko yung direction niya kasi BC is a cable. No? So, si cable is laging tensile and directed along its axis. No? So, palagi siyang directed away from the body. Okay? Si AX and AY, dahil pin yung support sa A, so merong horizontal and vertical component. Okay? So, yun. We have three unknowns, AX, AY, and the magnitude of FBC. I can solve this using three equilibrium equations. So, I sum moments about A, no? So, summing moments at A, yung yung vertical component ni FBC, ito, dadaan siya doon sa point A, so wala siyang gagawing moment. Yung horizontal component naman ni FBC, ito yon. So, ito yung FBCX. Okay, yung 6/10, again, I got this from similar triangles, no? So, tapos ang lever arm nito is 8 meters from A. Okay? -100 is the applied na moment sa B. Okay? And yung applied force P dun sa D, merong vertical and merong horizontal component, both of which may moment at point A. So, yung moment ng horizontal component ni P, ito yon. Okay, ito yung horizontal component ni P, which is Px, will produce no a clockwise moment, so negative yon, and yung lever arm niya is this height 5.4, no, itong height na to. Okay? So, yun yung lever arm niya from A. Now, si D naman, yung yung vertical component naman ni P, which is this one, no, will also induce a clockwise moment. So imagine magro-rotate yung buong body pag in-apply ko yan in this manner. So negative, kaya negative yung moment niya, and yung lever arm niya is this distance, 7 point. So from there, no, ma-solve natin si FBC, which is this value. Okay? And subsequently, masosolve din natin yung AX if we sum forces along X. Okay? And summing forces along Y, makukuha ko rin yung value AY. Okay? So once na makuha ko si AX and AY, I'll cut my section or I'll cut my body, no, sa O and consider yung lower na section. Okay? So if I do, it will look something like this, yung free body diagram niya. Okay? And again, I'll use equilibrium equations to solve for M, N, and V. Okay? So sa aming moments at O, walang gagawin lahat except for AX. So meron akong negative M. I assumed it to be clockwise, no? So negative M plus AX times 3. Okay? So that's the value of M. Okay? And summing forces along X, I'll get the value of V. No, again, I assumed it to be to the left. So, yun. I got this value. And summing forces along the vertical, I assumed it to be downwards. I got a value of 155.147 Newton. So again, yung mga directions, no, kayong bahala. Kahit i-assume nyo na pa-right and upwards yung N and V, no, that's okay. Lalabas lang na negative yung makuha nyo sagot. So you assume the incorrect direction. No? So you just put sa final answer yung correct na direction. Okay. Any questions about this? Questions? Anyone? Okay lang? So most of you got a perfect score naman, no? Some siguro mga 2 or 3 pairs hindi umabot dun sa O, no? So, pero may partial points pa rin naman. Di naman to all or nothing. Alright? Questions? Okay lang? Sige. So, kung walang questions, I'll proceed, no, dun sa main topic natin for today, which is about stresses, no? So, yeah. And again, as according dun sa ating class discussion no, no first day, no, I hope na napanood niyo yung lecture or at least nabasa yung mga concepts no about stress kasi hindi ko na siya hihimayin, no? So, papasadahan ko lang yung mga important na topics. So, in this module, no, we discussed various types of stresses. Pero yung mga stresses na yun can be categorized as either normal stress or shear stress, no? Both stresses, ang formula natin is simply force over area, no? So whether it's normal stress or shear stress, parehas na force over area lang. Magkakatalo tayo dun sa kung anong area yung i-consider at anong force yung i-consider. When we say normal stress, the force is perpendicular dun sa area, and when we say shear stress, the force is parallel dun sa area. Okay? So, yun, under normal stress, we discussed no two types. We have the axial stress and the bearing stress. So si axial stress yan yung nafi-feel ng mga members no na merong normal force na experience. Okay? So si bearing stress naman ay nag-occur kapag merong contact between two bodies no or two members such as for example pin tsaka yung bar no. So yung contact between the bar and the pin no dun sa may butas kung saan nakapasok yung pin, may bearing stress doon. Okay? So yun. On the other hand, shear stress naman is meron two types na na-discuss which is direct shear stress and punching shear stress. Direct shear stress is kapag meron kang force no na parang ini-slide niya yung body mo from a surface. So for example, meron akong dalawang papel na naka-glue tapos hinatak ko yung isang papel. No, that force na in-apply ko is inducing stress dun sa portion kung saan naka-glue. No? So, yun yung parang direct shear stress. Again, ang formula is force over area din. So, pero dapat yung area and force na i-consider mo parallel with each other. Same with punching shear stress. So, si punching shear stress, yan naman yung madedevelop kapag meron kang gustong butasin, no? Na yung body mo gusto mong mabutas, no? Halimbawa, pag pupush ka, meron kang column, no? Tapos merong plate na sumasalo, no? So yung column na yon, yung vertical na member mo, para niyang binubutas yung portion kung saan siya nakatayo dun sa plate, no? So nagde-develop yon ng punching shear stress. No? Same formula pa rin. Tau is force over area. Pero again, ang area na i-consider natin parallel dun sa force, no? So, yon later we'll discuss some examples illustrating yung value or kung paano sinusolve tong mga stresses. Okay? It was also discussed dun sa module yung concept na analysis and design. So when we say analysis, we are determining no yung actual na stresses dun sa body and compare it dun sa allowable or dun sa maximum na kaya ng material natin. Okay? Ibig sabihin, may force tayo, may dimensions tayo, kaya ba niya i-sustain yung force na yon or load na yon? On the other hand, design naman, given tayo ng load tsaka dimension, pinapahanap sa atin yung, pag-design naman, given either yung loads or dimension, no? So, isa lang dun sa dalawa. So, either pinapahanap, given tong strength ng material, ano yung pinaka-economical na dimension. And of course, you can put a large body, no, para ma-carry yung load, pero is that economical? So you have to consider that. Okay, tapos pwede rin na tinatanong ano yung maximum force na kaya nito given yung strength, given yung dimension. So that's a design problem. Okay? Sige. So, yun yung gist, no, nung module natin today. And as I mentioned, we'll solve some more examples na different, no, na nandun sa module natin. So, example 1-1, questions muna so far. Okay lang ba kayo? Yan, thank you sa mga nag-react, no. So, sige. So, yeah. Okay, so let's solve example 1-1. I prepared 3 additional examples, no, for this topic. Pero yung mga examples naman, multiple yung mga questions. Okay? So here, we have a member, no? So merong tayong member, yeah, sa baba is a wood or made of wood yung buong member, pero meron tayong board dun sa baba, yung BCD or yung DBC, tapos si A naka-glue dun sa BD, tapos parang naka-anchor or nakakabit, no, yung member na incline kung sa na nagke-carry ng load P dun sa member natin sa baba. Okay? So, tinatanong dito is if the allowable stress for wood is 53 megapascals and the allowable shear strength or allowable shear stress dun sa glue, sa BD, kasi itong member na tong A na to, nakaglue lang dun sa BD. Okay? So, you can imagine na yung force P, parang may chance na itulak or para mag-slide tong member na to. Okay? So, ayan. Tinatanong, ano raw yung value ng P that will cause failure in surface AB? So, itong surface na to. So, itong surface na to. Ayan. Okay? So, when we say failure, yung stress na na-experience ng area na to, may exceed niya yung allowable. No? Okay? Surface BC. Surface BC naman is this one. No? Yung ito. Okay? So kasi pag na-reach niya yung allowable na sigma, magka-crack yan, magbe-break yan, no? So yun yung mangyayari. And yung surface BD, yung surface BD is kung saan merong glue, no? So ito naman yan. So ito yung mga surface na pinapa-analyze sa atin. Ano raw yung magnitude ng P na magkakos ng failure sa mga surfaces na to? Okay? So, yeah. All right. So, assume that there is no friction in surface AB and BC, no? So, ibig sabihin, kung ano yung force na to, yun din yung force na nag-apply dun sa surface na to, dun sa AB and BC. Okay? So, how do we solve this, no? So, again, ang formula lang natin, very simple. Stress is force over area. Pero, what force do we use? And what area do we use dun sa formula natin? So, it's just a matter of selecting anong area and force yung i-consider. No? So, unahin natin si surface AB. So, si surface AB is this one. No? So, ito yung surface AB. Ito. Yan. So, as you can see, ito yon. Okay? So, yung failure na may experience niya, merong force na in-apply P, and kapag nilipat ko si P dito sa portion na to, meron niyang horizontal or paganong component, no? And meron din niyang paganto, pababa na component, no? So, this is yung y component ni P and this is yung x component ni P, no? So, if we analyze this area, surface AB, no, ang i-consider natin yung force na nag-act sa kanya. Okay? In this case, that force F is the x component of our force P. Okay? And yung area na i-consider natin is the area of the surface AB, which is this one. Okay? Now, si force is perpendicular dun sa AB, no? So, ibig sabihin, we'll use yung sigma na formula natin. So, dapat yung normal stress sa surface AB less than dun sa allowable, no? So, para makuha yung maximum, we equate those two, no? So, yung sigma allowable is given, that's 53 MPa. The force that we will consider is the x component of P, no? So, paano natin makukuha yung x component ni P? We apply similar triangles, no? So, ito yung force P, okay, yung hypotenuse ng right triangle. Yung x component niya is this one, yung y component niya is this one, and yung slope, no, nung force of, yung inclination ng force natin is characterized by this slope. Okay, so the x component, px over p is equal to 3 over 5. No? So, simplifying, we'll get 3/5 ng p. Similarly, yung vertical component is 4/5 ng p naman. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung force na nag-a-act dun sa AB is 3/5 p. Okay? So, yun. Now, what about the area? Yung area na sumasalo or perpendicular dun sa force na to is 20 by 30. So, from there, no, masosolve natin yung value ng P, which is 53,000 newtons. By the way, no, personally, I prefer to use yung 1 megapascal equals 1 newton per mm squared, no? So, ang ginagawa ko, lahat ng forces, kino-convert ko to newtons, lahat ng dimensions, kino-convert ko to millimeters, lahat ng stresses, naka-megapascals. No? This is, personal na, no? Parang nakasanayan. No? Kayo, kung masanay kayo sa standard units na newton, then meter, then pascals, no? That's okay. No, ako lang sa mga solutions ko na ipe-present sa inyo, mas sanay ako ng newton, millimeters, tsaka megapascals kasi yun yung commonly na typical na units na lumalabas, no? So that's how I'm doing my solution. Okay? So anyway, here I'm using millimeters squared, no? Kasi ito megapascals. So yung units ng P na makukuha ko is in newtons. Okay? So, yon. Ibig sabihin, this is the force, no, that will cause failure dun sa AB. If this is the force P, no, magka-crack yung side na to ng AB. So, yan. Okay? So, now, what about BC? So, si BC, so si surface
Sir,
BC is ito naman. So, go ahead.
sir, tanong po. Sir, paano po namin malalaman kung axial at hindi shear, sir? So, di ba pwede rin po na, since may X and Y direction naman yung P,
Yes.
pwede rin shear?
Good question. Paano malalaman kung ang i-consider mo na for, say, for example, ito. Tama, di ba? PY.
Yes, sir.
Si PX will induce axial stress, no? Pero si PY will induce shear stress dun sa wood, dun sa surface AB. Tama?
Yes po.
So, bakit hindi natin kinonsider si PY? Main reason is walang binigay na tau allowable for wood. Ang binigay na tau allowable is for the glue, which is dun sa BD. Nagets ba yon? So,
Yes, sir.
yung
Sir, pero,
binigay na allowable is yung sa glue. Walang binigay na tau allowable for the wood. So, ang binigay is yung sigma allowable for the wood. So, normal stresses lang ito consider natin. Pero that's right, no? Meron ding shear stress na na-induce because of PY. No? Pero hindi natin siya inanalyze kasi walang given na allowable for
sir,
wood.
pero kunwari, sir, may binigay na tao allowable for wood. Ang gagawin ba namin parang solve both, tas kung ano yung mas maliit, yun yung sagot, parang ganun.
Yes, that's true. So, kasi kung hindi siya binigay, ibig sabihin, mataas yung strength niya or hindi siya critical value. Okay? Pero pag may binigay na strength, ibig sabihin, kailangan mong i-analyze. Okay?
Sige po, sir. Thank you po.
Sige. So, kasama sa kailangan mong i-analyze yung ano ba yung nafe-feel ng section na to? On may normal stress ba or may shear stress ba? Okay? Yeah. So, what about surface BC? No? So, again, si surface BC is this one. No? Ito yung dimensions niya. And yung i-consider natin is yung force, no, na mag-induce ng normal stress. No? So again, pwedeng may in this case, yung magko-cause ng normal stress is Ty, no? So yun yung normal dun sa cross section. Okay? So yan yung analyze natin. Again, no, this similar dun sa question kanina, yung PX dito, may shear stress na ma-induce, no? Pero hindi natin ina-analyze kasi walang binigay na allowable shear stress. Okay, so ang i-analyze natin yung magko-cause lang ng normal stress. Okay? So yan. Okay. So, yeah, same formula, force over area. This time, yung force na nag-act dun sa surface BC natin is Py. So, that's 4/5 ng P. No? And yung area na sumasalo doon sa force na yon is 30/40. So, ibig sabihin, yung masosolve natin na P is 79,500 newtons. Okay? So, yeah. And what else? What about surface BD? So, si surface BD is this one. So, ito naman, yung surface na to, naka-glue. No? So, kung naka-glue siya, tapos tinulak mo, yung glue, mag-fail siya, ibig sabihin, mawawala yung contact, mawawala yung dikit. No? So, yun. Paano natin ma-analyze yun? So, we will determine ano yung force na nagko-cause ng shear stress. No? In this case, this is that force F and that is yung X component ng P. Okay? So, solving or analyzing, no? Tau is equal to force over area. Yung F natin is yung PX and yung area na i-consider is yung area na may glue. No? So, that is this area. Okay? That is 60/30. Okay? So, yun. Solving will get a value of P equal to 69,000 newtons. Now, for all those critical na areas, no, meron tayong tatlong values ng P. Ang i-consider natin is the smallest one. No, why the smallest one? Kasi kapag yung highest yung kinonsider mo, magfi-fail na yung isa bago ka makarating dun sa highest na value. So, ang i-consider mo pag force, no, or load yung hinahanap, you consider the smallest. Baliktad kapag dimension. Kapag dimension, you get the largest. So, yun yung sa next example natin. But for now, we select, no, yung lowest, which is yung 53 kilonewtons. Okay? Questions on this? Okay pa? Mukhang madali, no? Force over area lang yung formula, pero medyo tricky which force, which area to use, no? So, pero kailangan nyo lang na masanay, no? Ma-familiarize, no? Dun sa mga types ng loads, no? Para ma-realize nyo ano yung mga possible failures ng mga surfaces na to. Okay? So, yeah. Questions regarding this example? Okay lang? Yeah, pa-thumbs up naman para alam kong ano. Baka meron. Yan, yan. Thank you, thank you. Alright. Sige. So, yun, that's example 1-1. So, we proceed sa 1-2. So, kanina, this is a design problem, no, na loads yung tinatanong. No? So, now we move on dun sa design problem naman, rin, no? Sorry, hindi lang siya design problem, analysis problem. This one is analysis. And then, yung other two, design problem kasi dimensions yung tinatanong. Okay? So here, we have a rigid bar BCD, itong pa-L, no? And tinatanong, supported by an aluminum rod AB and pin dun sa C, no? Yung pin dun sa C, ganito yung itsura niya. So, ito yung bar, ito yung mahabang pin, tapos yung pin natin may dalawang brackets. Okay? So, given yung dimensions and the maximum allowable shearing stress and bearing stress ng pin C, pinapahanap yung normal stress sa rod B, AB, required diameter ng pin C in multiple of 5 mm, and the required thickness of each bracket at C in multiple of 5 mm, and pinapagamit yung diameter na na-solve dun sa number 2. Okay, so how do we solve this? So, first, we need to solve muna yung mga internal forces. Dun sa previous example natin, no, hindi na natin kailangan mag-equilibrium equation, no? Kasi isang force lang, so kailangan lang natin siya i-decompose into its horizontal and vertical component. Pero this one, so meron na akong rigid body acted upon by several forces at different points, no? So, to get the internal forces na nafe-feel nung bar AB natin tsaka nung pin C natin, kailangan nating i-analyze yung entire system, yung FBD ng BCD, using equilibrium equations. Okay? So, first, we draw the FBD. So, si AB, si rod AB, is a two-force body. No? So, two-force body, ibig sabihin sa A lang tsaka sa B lang may load. So, ibig sabihin, yung force dyan, alam ko na yung direction. Again, this is an assumed direction, no? So, pwede akong mali sa assumption ko, pero alam ko na yung direction is horizontal na. No? Kasi two-force body siya. Now, sa pin naman, meron akong horizontal and vertical na component. Okay, so we have three unknowns, no? We have three equilibrium equations. So, let's apply those by summing moments at C first. So, summing moments at C, so, yung moment ni FAB, so this will rotate our body counterclockwise. So, that's positive. Ito yun. This is yung lever arm, 0.4. Okay? Then, yung mga applied loads, meron akong 50 kilonewton na downwards. So, it will rotate this body clockwise. So, that's why it's negative. Lever arm is 0.3. And yung 15 kilonewton sa man will also rotate yung body ko, no, about C na clockwise, no? So that's why negative din, and yung lever arm niya is this distance, which is 0.6. Okay? So very important, no, yung paggamit ng equilibrium equations. That's why dapat yung portion na yon ma-practice nyo ng ma-practice. Kasi kapag dito pa lang mali na yung forces nyo, mamamali na rin yung calculations nyo ng stress. Okay? So, very crucial yung skill na to. Okay? So, anyway, from this equation, we can solve for the value of FAB, which is 60 kilonewtons. Now, once na makuha natin yung value ng FAB, no, pwede natin i-solve kagad yung normal stress, yung average normal stress sa rod B. So, all we need is divide that force, no, yung force na yan yung force din dun sa internal, or ito rin yung internal force dun sa bar AB. Okay? So, yung force na yan din yun. No? So, if I consider yung right side, yan din yung FAB. Okay? So, yeah, all we need is divide that dun sa cross-sectional area ng rod AB. So, ang sabi is, rod siya. So, circular yung cross-section. And yung diameter is 25. Ito yung diameter. 25 mm. Okay? So, that's why pi over 4 times diameter squared, that's the cross-sectional area of rod AB. So, from there, masosolve natin yung sigma AB, no, or the normal stress sa AB equal to this value. And note that this is in tension, no? So, paano ko nalaman na tension, no? So, yung FAB na direction na to, this is with respect dun sa bar, no? So, from the free body diagram ng BCD yon. Pero if I look at dun sa FBD ng bar AB, no? So, this is point B. So, itong pakaliwa na FAB, that is with respect dun sa bar BCD. pag tiningnan ko yung rod AB, yung direction ng FAB is directed this way. Okay? So this one is away from the cross section, no? Nung member natin. That's why it's a tension. Okay? So, yan. Okay? So, okay na tayo dito. And then we also need, no, yung reactions sa C, RCX. Masosolve natin by summing forces along X. So, alam na natin yung value ng FAB. So, we can solve for it, 60 kilonewtons. Positive, meaning tama yung inassume kong direction na right. No? Summing forces along vertical, I'll have negative 50 plus RCY. No? I'll get 65 kilonewtons. Tama rin yung inassume kong direction. Now, these two forces, no, sila yung along the horizontal and along the vertical na component ng force. Pero yung kakailanganin natin sa analysis nung pin ay not the individual components but rather the resultant, no? Yan yung total na force dun sa pin C, no? And to get the resultant, we apply Pythagorean theorem, no? And we'll get the value of RC equal to 88.459 kilonewton. So this is the resultant force acting, no, dun sa pin C natin. Alright? So, yon. Now we proceed dun sa pag-analyze ng required diameter ng pin C. So alam na natin yung internal force, no? So now, it's just a matter of determining yung mga areas na i-consider. Okay? So, alam natin, RC is this value from our previous analysis. Ano yung mga possible failures nung pin natin? No? So, una, syempre, si pin, pag hinatak ko yung, ito yung RC, no? Pag hinatak ko yan, no? Possible na mag-fail siya due to shear. No? So, yung shear, look something like this. No? So, kumbaga, pag hinatak ko yung bar BCD ko this way, no? Ang mangyayari is masisira yung pin, lulusot yung bar as is, no? So, yun. That forces, no? Yan yung mga shear force na nagre-resist dun sa RC. Okay, mga internal force. Now, there are two of them, no? Isa sa side na to, sa left, and isa sa side na to. Okay, so yung pin natin naka-double shear. Okay, but if we sum forces along the vertical, you will have 2F equals RC. Ibig sabihin, yung internal force na gagamitin natin dito sa tau allowable is kalahati lang ng RC. No? So, yun. Another failure na pwedeng mangyari dun sa pin is due to bearing stress. Okay, so si bearing stress naman is with respect dun sa bar, no? So, parang itong contact na to, so ito yung pin, nakaganon. So, pag nag-fail siya due to bearing stress, mawawala yung contact between the pin and dun sa bar natin. So, yun. Yun. So, yun yung failure by bearing stress. So, yung contact, so yung force na gagamitin natin is RC itself, no? So, yun yung nag-a-act dun sa contact area ng pin natin. So, okay. Now, let's analyze muna yung sa shear stress at pin C. So, yung F na gagamitin natin is kalahati ng RC based on this free body diagram. And yung area ng pin, dyan lalabas yung diameter na kailangan. So, yung RC na nakuha natin is this one. Again, no, ano to? Kinonvert ko siya to newtons, no? Mas sanay ako doon. So, kaya naging ganyan, no? So, I'll get a value of D na 33.560. And if we round this up, no, note na palaging round up, ha? Pag dimension. Kasi gusto natin, mas malaki yung dimension para less, greater area, less stress. Okay? So, we'll use a diameter of 35 mm. No? Now, if we consider bearing stress naman, okay? So, we equate yung force, yung internal force, no? dun sa RC, which is yung resultant force dun sa pin, ay over yung contact area is this rectangle, no? So this is the diameter of the pin and the thickness of the bar. So ito yung thickness ng bar. Okay? So, yan. Substituting, this is RC and this is the thickness of 10 mm. Ito yun, indicate. We'll get the value of D na 44.230 mm, or let's round that up to 45. So between the two, ang gagamitin nating diameter is the larger one, no? Kasi yun yung mas safe. Okay? If I use yung lower na diameter, lalagpas sa allowable yung bearing stress nito, no? So kasi mas maliit yung value ng D, mas mataas yung stress na may experience. Okay? So we use this diameter na 45. And finally, if we analyze naman yung pin tsaka yung bracket, no? So meron silang bearing stress din kasi yung pin natin parang ito 'yon, nakaganon siya tapos nakaganon. Sorry, pangit yung drawing pero I hope na-imagine niyo, tapos ito yung bar. Yan. Ito yung contact area between nung bracket, ito, saan to, tsaka yung pin, no? So, yun. Yung each force is ito, yung F. Ito yung F. Alright? So, anyway, yung value ng F is kalahati ng RC. So, yun. Pag pinasok natin sa formula ng bearing stress, yung F is RC over 2. And yung contact, this is the diameter of the pin, and this is the thickness of the bracket. Okay, so yung diameter na gagamitin natin is yung na-solve natin kanina, which is 45. And yung hinahanap is the thickness of the bracket. So substituting, we'll get the required thickness of the bracket, 4.9 mm. And let's round that up to 5 mm. Na. Okay? So, yun. Questions? Anyone? So, I'll give you a minute no, to absorb muna. Okay? May question sa chat. Sir, saan po nanggaling yung 10 mm na diameter? 10 mm na diameter, I'm assuming na yung 10 mm na tinutukoy mo is this one. So, yung 10 mm, that's the thickness of the bar BCD. Ito yung 10 mm. Yan. So, dito, ito yung 10 mm. Yan. Okay. Alright, and another question, sir, yung previous slide po, paano po ulit naging 35 mm? So yung 35 mm, galing siya dito, no? So yung value ng D, if you solve this equation, is 33.560 mm. So ang gagawin natin, ang sabi kasi is required diameter ng pin in multiple of 5 mm. So what we will do is we will round up this value to the closest na multiple ng 5, which is 35. Okay? Note na round up yung ginagamit kapag dimensions, no? Gusto natin yung mas malaki na dimension. Okay? Para mas safe. No? The higher the dimension, the more area, the less stress na nafe-feel nung body natin, member natin. Okay? So, yun. And bakit nira-round up to multiple of 5 mm? Well, for practical reasons, kasi wala namang sakto na 33.56 mm na thickness, no, or diameter. Usually, it's multiple ng 5 mm or 25 mm or something like that. Okay? I hope na nasagot ko yung question. Yeah. Any more questions? Yeah. Okay, so mukhang wala na, no? So let's proceed, no, dun sa last na example. So, yeah. So yung last na example is combination din, no, ng design and analysis. So here we have a wooden post. Ito yung poste natin na gawa sa wood carrying a 40 kilonewton na load, no? So na actual load. So tapos ano tawag dito, si wood natin, si poste natin, ang nagsusupport is a concrete na footing. Okay? So tapos si footing nasa soil, no? So parang tatlo yung kino-consider natin na body dito, member natin. We have the wooden post, the concrete footing, and yung soil, no? So pinapahanap yung required na strength ng wooden post para kaya niyang i-carry yung 40 kilonewton na load, yung bearing stress between the post and the concrete, no? So dun sa contact, kung saan sila may contact, okay? And the minimum dimension B of the footing if the maximum bearing stress of the soil is 145 kPa, and the average punching shear stress developed by the post to the footing. Okay? So, yon. Paano natin siya i-solve? Unahin natin yung required na strength ng wooden post. So, paano natin siya malalaman? We determine ano ba yung actual stress, no, dun sa na-experience ng wooden post. So, the average normal stress dun sa post, that's simply P over area. So, yung P is 40, yung area na i-consider is yung cross-section ng wooden post natin. Okay? And that is 100 mm by 120. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung stress na kinikerry niya is 3.333 megapascal. So, dapat yung strength ng wood ko, mas malaki dyan. No? Kasi otherwise, yung strength na yon, pag saktong yan lang, no, magbe-break pa rin siya. Magfe-fail pa rin siya. Okay? So, you use an ultimate strength na wood na greater than this. No? Pero ito yung kasi yung boundary. No? So, kung ito yung nasa-solve natin. Pero, syempre, for practical reasons, dapat mas malaki dyan yung gagamitin. Okay? Para hindi magbe-break kapag 40 km. Hindi mawawasak yung kahoy. No? Ayan. Now, next. So, okay na tayo dito. Bearing stress between the post and the concrete footing. So, bearing stress, ang i-consider natin is the area of contact between dun sa dalawang body natin. In this case, yung post and yung concrete. And looking at the figure, that contact area is this rectangle, no? Which is actually the same as nung cross-section ng wood natin. So, if we calculate yung area of contact, so that's 120 by 100. So, parehas lang. Okay? So, this is the bearing stress between the post, the wooden post, and the concrete footing. Okay? So, ito yung contact area nila. Alright? And then, ano yung next? So, okay na tayo dito. Next is the minimum dimension B of the footing if the maximum bearing stress of the soil is 145 kPa. So, this time, ang pinapa-analyze is the bearing stress between the soil and the footing. So, this time, yung contact area na gagamitin natin is yung contact area ng soil and footing. In this case, that would be yung dimension ni footing, which is B squared. Okay? So, the bearing stress capacity ng soil is 0.145. Again, no, kaya siya ganyan kasi I'm using megapascals. This is Newton and this is in millimeter square. Okay? So, yun. What I will get, a value for B is 525.226. Okay? And finally, the average punching shear stress developed by the post to the footing. So, imagine pag sobrang diin nung kahoy, no? Nung pag-push ko dun sa kahoy, posibleng mabutas ni kahoy yung concrete natin, no? So, yung pag nabutas niyo yon, ang magkukos ng pagbutas na yon is the punching shear stress. Okay? So, ngayon, ano yung area na i-consider? So, yung surface na i-consider is yung lateral area, no, nung magiging butas. No, in this case, pag pinush ko siya ng sobra-sobra, magkakaroon ako ngayon ng butas dito. Okay? And yung area na i-consider ko, ito. Yan yung magge-generate ng punching shear stress. Okay? So, syempre, meron pa yan dun sa other side, ha? Okay? So, that is force over yung perimeter nito, no, times the thickness. Okay? Ito, ang ginawa ko is area nito times 2. So, area nitong side na to times 2 kasi meron din doon sa kabilang side. Tapos plus area nitong side na to times 2 kasi meron din sa kabilang side. Pero this is generally perimeter times the thickness. In general, no? Pero hindi palagi. Okay? Kasi si perimeter ginagamit lang natin kapag yung butas closed, no? Like this. So, halimbawa, usually naman pag magbubutas ka, gagawa ka ng butas bilog, no, circumference yung gagamitin mo. No? So, closed siya. Pero, there are instances like yung nasa example 4 ng module 2, no? Kapag meron kang pin, so parang ito yung plate mo, tapos meron kang pin dito, no? Or bolt dyan, tapos hinatak mo to. So, yung bolt, posibleng niyang mabutas yung portion na to. Okay? Yan, yung portion na yan. So, punching shear stress yan. Yung area na i-consider mo is this one, tsaka yung ito. Yung mga nasa gilid. So, ito, hindi to perimeter times thickness kasi hindi naman closed yung butas. No, ito kasi open yung butas. So, ang i-consider mong area, ito, tsaka ito. Okay? So, ito, usually lang, hindi pala.
Sir, saan po nang galing yung 200?
Yung 200, ay, oo nga, no? Saan galing yung 200? Typo to, typo. This should be 120. Oo nga, no? Thank you. Yan, correct natin. So, mali yung sagot ko. So, ano ba yung sagot ko? 2.222. Tama ba yan? 2 times 100 times 30. 2 times. Mali nga ako. So, palitan ko. Ulit. Sige. So, wait lang. Palitan ko. So, this should be... Yan. So, dapat 3.03. Yan. Sorry. Thank you for that. Yan. Okay. So, saan galing nga yung 200? No? Bakit 200 na lang? Dapat 120. Yan. Na-bring up na yung sa 200. Okay, malinaw. So, ano lang yun honest mistake. This should be 120. Just this one. Okay. Questions? I think that's the last slide, no? Bago yung quiz natin. Yeah. Questions? Anyone? Okay lang. So, na-cover naman natin lahat ng mga formulas, no? And dapat nyo ma-discuss, no? Sa module na to. So, any questions? Sige. So, ganito, no? Yung quiz natin, similar to last time, I'll open yung breakout. Sorry. I'll stop the recording na.